Fire's up, she murmurs, her voice a series of sounds and rhythms that would feel alien to our modern ears, lacking the familiar phonemes and intonations we know, yet perfectly convey the simple, profound message. It is a language, fully developed and complex in its own ancient way, with intricate grammar and rich vocabulary. But its intonations and cadence belong to a world long past, a world of quiet observation and practical communication, of sounds that echo the natural world, one by one, as the fire grows, casting a warmer, more inviting glow. Your band members slowly begin to stir from their quiet slumber. There is Ren, a man in his 30s, powerfully built, his frame hardened by constant movement and exertion. Each sunrise brings with it the same fundamental question, and the answer is always the same. Persist, endure, find a way. The woman at the fire, Nima, has finally, with a gentle persistence, coaxed a small flame to life. The tiny tendrils of fire begin to curl upwards, casting flickering light and a nascent warmth into the dimness, creating dancing shadows on the uneven rock walls. Nima is perhaps 50 seasons old, which, in the timeless measure of the Stone Age, makes her truly ancient, a revered repository of wisdom and hard-won experience. Her face is a gentle map of wrinkles, each line a testament to decades of enduring existence, of countless sunrises and sunsets. Her hands are gnarled from countless hours of work, of tending, of creating, their strength evident in their shape, yet her eyes retain a sharp, knowing gaze, a deep understanding of the world around her. Within your band, she is the revered keeper of medicinal knowledge and the ancient, intricate skills of fire-making, the very art of keeping warmth and light alive. When sickness or injury gently touches a member of your group, it is to Nima they turn, seeking her calm wisdom and practical remedies. When the fire's gentle glow needs tending in the deep quiet of the night, it is Nima who gently stirs, guided by an inner clock of responsibility. Her survival across 5 decades in this demanding world has woven her wisdom into a tapestry more valuable than any tool, any weapon. A living library of essential knowledge, the precious stored food from autumn, meticulously gathered and preserved in the fleeting warmth of the harvest, is now almost entirely depleted. There are only a few remaining scraps, a dwindling supply. A quiet understanding settles over you, someone. Perhaps you. Perhaps Ren needs to venture out today. The need for sustenance is a quiet drumbeat, a fundamental imperative that shapes the rhythm of this ancient existence. It is not a choice, but a given. This is an average morning in the Stone Age. Each day begins with the same, uncomplicated thought, a singular focus that grounds every action, every decision survive. There are no frantic urgencies, no complex schedules, no pre-planned vacations or days of leisure. There is only the endless and unyielding cycle of seeking sustenance, a rhythm as old as time itself. Dictated by the sun's passage and the season's turn, this isn't merely a task, it's a silent, profound act of creation, a delicate dance between human will and the fragile potential of fire. The absence of this flame, the complete demise of the fire, holds a silent, absolute truth, a truth that hangs in the cold air, yet is not spoken, simply understood as the boundary between safety and peril. The crackle of new kindling, a soft, encouraging sound, begins to fill the space. A familiar, hollow ache gently asserts itself in your stomach. It is not a sharp, piercing pain, but a deep, persistent emptiness, a quiet reminder that you haven't eaten since yesterday's meager meal, a small portion of dried meat and a handful of nuts. The memory of their texture, dry and slightly chewy, lingers faintly. The winter has stretched on, long and unyielding, its harsh grip making game scarce, forcing every living thing into a deeper struggle for resources. From the quiet stillness, a figure is already stirring, already engaged in the most vital of morning rituals. Someone, likely Nima, the oldest woman in your group, is already hunched by the lingering remains of last night's fire. Her form, Outlined against the faint light is a study in quiet diligence, a silhouette of purposeful action, with slow, deliberate movements, each one precise and economical. She is carefully nurturing a few stubborn embers that glow with a faint, pulsing warmth amidst the ash. You can almost see the tiny, fragile sparks, like miniature stars, clinging to life. She uses dried moss, collected carefully and stored for this very purpose, and her own steady breath, exhaling in gentle, controlled puffs, coaxing the tiny sparks to life. It's a rhythmic, almost meditative process. The gentle whoosh of her breath, the rustle of the moss, the patient watchfulness. The last vestiges of frost still cling to the cave walls, catching the earliest, almost imperceptible pre-dawn light that bravely struggles to penetrate the cave entrance. This faint glow, a whisper of the sun, casts long, wavering shadows that dance and stretch across the rough, uneven surfaces of the rock, lending the cavern a silent, almost ethereal quality. It is a quiet light, a promise of the sun, but one that arrives with a slow, deliberate grace, painting the interior with subtle hues of gray and faint blue, gradually pushing back the deep blackness of night. The very air seems to hold its breath in anticipation of the full day, a stillness that is both profound and comforting. This makeshift bedding, a collection of necessities, carries the accumulated history of many nights, of countless sleeps. It is a sleeping surface that is lumpy, hard, conforming imperfectly to the contours of your body, offering a firm embrace rather than a soft one. And occasionally, with a subtle movement, you might sense the almost imperceptible presence of tiny, unseen inhabitants, creatures of the bedding, about which you gently, simply, choose not to dwell. This is the quiet reality of life, unadorned and direct. The cave floor beneath you is anything but smooth. It is a surface of gentle irregularities, of small undulations and subtle bumps, a natural canvas. It is covered with a thick, insulating layer of fur pelts laid over dry grass. You might gently trace the coarse texture of the fur with your fingertips, feeling the individual strands, perhaps a stray, rough hair from a long-gone beast. Beneath them, you can feel the dry rustle of the grass, a soft, whispering sound if you shift too much, providing a humble yet vital barrier against the relentless cold of the stone floor. You are not alone in this profound chill. Pressed closely against you, sharing their warmth in the timeless pursuit of comfort and survival, are 6 other humans. You can feel the gentle rhythmic rise and fall of their breathing, a soft, steady cadence that fills the quiet space. There's the subtle shifting of their bodies, a slight movement as one adjusts in their sleep, or another takes a deeper breath. This is your family group, your band, a cluster of individuals bound not always by blood but by an unspoken pact of shared existence, a survival unit in a world that demands unity and cooperation. The warmth they emit is not intense, but a subtle, shared comfort against the penetrating cold. As your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the dimness, a soft, muted gray that precedes the true dawn, your other senses awaken. The air around you carries a distinctive, layered fragrance, a tapestry of ancient scents that tell the story of your dwelling. There is the persistent, comforting aroma of wood smoke, a gentle, earthy perfume that clings to everything, to the very rock walls, to your crude clothing, to the fur pelts that cover the floor. It's a testament to the fire that guarded the night, a scent of warmth and safety. Beneath it, you can discern the damp, slightly musky smell of animal fur, the raw, untamed hides that serve so many purposes, mingling with something deeper, a primal earthy scent that is a blend of human presence and the very cave itself. It is a scent that speaks of close quarters, of fundamental existence, and of the raw materials of survival, a natural perfume of an ancient home. You begin to stir, a slow, gradual return from a deep, dreamless sleep. The first sensation that gently nudges your awareness is the cold. It isn't the fleeting, minor discomfort of a forgotten open window, but something far more profound, a deep, pervasive chill that seems to settle in the very marrow of your bones. Each breath you draw feels cool, a faint ache blooming in your lungs as the frosty air fills them. You can almost feel the air itself, crisp and biting, pressing against your skin, a constant, undeniable presence. Your eyelids, heavy and crusted with the quiet slumber of the night, feel as though they are gently glued together, requiring a soft, deliberate effort to part. You might even feel the subtle pull of dried tears or the slight stickiness from a night of deep repose. A small, intimate detail of this ancient awakening. If you're finding a sense of calm in these moments, a quiet stillness settling over you, please consider giving a gentle like or perhaps subscribing, allowing more of these tranquil tales to find their way to you, wherever you might be listening from. It's truly fascinating to imagine how these stories travel across the globe, bringing a shared sense of peace to so many. Now, as you prepare to journey with me, make yourself truly comfortable. Adjust your pillows just so. Perhaps pull your blanket a little closer around you. Feel the soft fabric, the gentle weight that brings a sense of security. Because where we are going, you'll want to be perfectly at ease, perfectly nestled. Hello there. Close your eyes for a moment, if you like, and simply allow your mind to drift. Perhaps you've often wondered what it might have been like to wake up in a world untouched by the bustling rhythms of modern life, a world steeped in ancient quietude and the primal dance of survival. Imagine for a moment, shedding the familiar comforts of your present and allowing your senses to be guided, gently, back through the long corridors of time, to an era when existence was stripped down to its most essential elements. Across the gentle glow of the fire pit are Tam and Lev, teenagers, siblings who weathered the sorrow of losing their parents to fever just last year. Your band took them in, a quiet, natural act of community, a testament to the fundamental understanding that lone humans rarely endure long in this unforgiving world. And then there is you, somewhere in your 20s, a time of developing strength and accumulating experience. Though exact age is a concept rarely tracked or dwelled upon here, more a feeling of capability than a number. The quiet hum of existence fills the cave, a steady rhythm that pulses with life. A distinctive scar traces its way down his arm, a silent memento of a brush with a cave lion from 3 winters ago. An encounter he barely survived, a story etched onto his very being. His partner, Kira, cradles their newest baby close to her chest, a tiny life just 2 moons old, a bundle of vulnerability and hope. The infant's small face is perhaps the only truly pristine thing in the entire cave, a pure, clean presence, untouched by the dust and grime of daily living. A quiet, unspoken understanding hangs in the air regarding the baby's delicate chances of seeing spring amidst the harsh scarcity of this winter. This unspoken knowledge is not a burden, but a quiet motivator, underscoring the necessity of the day's tasks. From the depth and pattern, it's clear it's a small herd, perhaps 5 or 6 animals moving steadily towards the river valley to the east. A quiet surge of hope moves through you, a subtle warmth against the cold, a spark of anticipation. Reindeer mean not just meat, but hide for clothing, bone for tools, sinew for bindings, everything your band desperately needs to endure the long winter. But reindeer are fast, wary, and will not be easy to bring down. Their senses are as sharp as your own, if not more so. Wren outlines the plan, using a combination of low whispers and precise hand gestures, a silent ballet of communication. You will follow the tracks to the river valley. If the herd is still there, you will split up to flank them. Lev, with his atlatl, will position himself downwind, unseen, a silent threat. You and Wren will approach from opposite sides, attempting to gently drive the animals toward Lev's position. If everything unfolds perfectly, and it rarely does in this world, where variables are countless and unpredictable, you might bring down 1, or perhaps even 2 animals. This is the quiet hope that propels you forward. The morning meal is an austere affair, a quiet communion with the harsh realities of this existence. Nima, with her gnarled hands moving with a practiced slowness, carefully scrapes the last of yesterday's bone marrow from a cracked femur. The hollow bone, once filled with rich sustenance, now echoes with emptiness. She distributes it in pathetically small portions, each scrape of the stone tool against bone a faint, resonant sound in the quiet cave. The tiny, precious dollops of marrow are given first priority to the baby, then to the elders, and then, finally, to everyone else, a silent hierarchy of need. You can almost taste the anticipation in the air, a collective yearning for the slightest hint of nourishment. When the tiny portion reaches you, its taste is rich and fatty, a concentrated burst of flavor. In times of abundance, it would be a delicious, satisfying treat. Today, it is just enough to sharpen your hunger, to awaken the deep pangs, rather than to truly satisfy them. It is a fleeting pleasure, a whisper of a meal, leaving the emptiness lingering, a quiet companion. The silence that follows the meal is broken by Ren. His gaze shifts, settling on you and Lev, his voice low and steady. "We hunt today," he says, the words a simple declaration, devoid of drama, yet carrying immense weight. "Big hunt. We need meat." And there it is, the day's mission, the singular, undeniable truth that will guide every action, every thought. Find food or face starvation. There are no weekends in this Stone Age existence, no sick days, no pre-planned vacations. There is only the endless, unyielding cycle of seeking sustenance, a rhythm as old as time itself. Each sunrise brings with it the same fundamental question, and the answer is always the same: persist. As you step outside the mouth of the cave, the world transforms. Winter has cast its silent, majestic spell. A thick blanket of snow covers the entire landscape, stretching as far as the eye can see, an unbroken expanse of brilliant white. Your breath, warm from the interior of the cave, instantly hangs in the frigid air like a ghost, a fleeting misty cloud that dissipates as quickly as it forms. The trees stand bare against the pale, diffused sky, their skeletal branches reaching upwards, adorned only with a delicate dusting of frost. A profound silence envelops everything, a stillness that only exists when the soft, deep snow muffles every sound, absorbing the world's whispers. For a fleeting moment, as your eyes take in the pristine, untouched beauty of the snow-laden world, it is breathtaking. The crisp air, the endless white, the stark, elegant lines of the trees, a beauty that could almost lull you into forgetting the constant struggle. Then, gently, reality settles back in. Your feet, wrapped in animal hide boots stuffed with dry grass, crunch through the crust of the snow. The sound is a soft, rhythmic percussion, a steady beat accompanying your steps. You feel the distinct give of the snow beneath your weight, the slight resistance against your movement, a subtle give and take with the landscape. Beauty, you know, does not fill an empty stomach. Before the hunt can truly begin, a vital ritual must be performed: preparation. The tools of your survival are not simply waiting, neatly stored in a shed or hanging conveniently on a wall. They demand attention, patience, and meticulous care. They need maintenance, sharpening, checking for any subtle damage that could mean the difference between life and death. Every fiber, every edge, every binding holds a quiet significance. Ren kneels in the snow, his movements fluid and practiced, and slowly unwraps a bundle of spears. Each one is a silent testament to countless hours of labor, a masterpiece of Stone Age engineering. The main hunting spear, a straight shaft of carefully selected and dried wood, extends about 6 feet in length. Its slender, balanced form feels light yet sturdy in his hands. At its business end, a stone point is attached, secured with a remarkable mixture of pine resin and animal sinew. You can almost smell the faint, sweet scent of the pine resin, a sticky, natural adhesive that seals the bond. The binding, crucial for the spear's effectiveness, must be checked daily for any weakness. A failing binding means a lost spearhead, which inevitably leads to a failed hunt, and ultimately to hunger. The sinew, pulled taut and allowed to dry, becomes incredibly strong, a natural marvel. Lev, the teenager, is already focused on his own weapon, a shorter throwing spear designed to be used with an atlatl, or spear thrower. The atlatl itself is an ingenious device, deceptively simple yet profoundly effective. It is a piece of wood, sometimes with a hook or peg at one end, which effectively lengthens the human arm, creating significantly more leverage and dramatically increasing the distance and force with which a spear can be thrown. It is, in essence, Stone Age artillery, a weapon so fundamentally effective that variations of it were independently invented by diverse cultures across the entire world, a testament to human ingenuity and observation. "Need new point," Lev says, his voice a low murmur, as he shows you where his spearhead has developed a hairline crack. It is not immediately useless. But in this world, unreliable tools get you killed. There is no margin for error, no second chances provided by the unforgiving environment. You reach into a small, familiar pouch at your waist and carefully produce several meticulously napped flint points. Each one represents hours of patient, focused work, chipping away flakes of stone with precise, controlled blows to create a lethal, incredibly sharp edge. This is not the random banging of rocks together. It is a sophisticated technology, a deep understanding of stone properties and fracture mechanics, passed down through generations. You can feel the sharp edges, the smooth facets, the delicate ripple marks left by each strike. The points in your pouch vary in size and shape, each one thoughtfully designed for specific prey. Smaller, narrower points for the agile birds and small game. Broader, leaf-shaped points, exquisitely crafted, for the graceful deer. And for the most dangerous large game, the heavy triangular points, thick and robust, designed to penetrate deeply. You select a medium-sized point, perfectly suited for Lev's spear, and begin the careful, deliberate process of attaching it. First, you need fresh resin. Fortunately, there's a pine tree standing not far from the cave entrance. Its scent a crisp, clean presence in the cold air, a subtle counterpoint to the earthier smells of the cave. You take a small, ember-filled bark container from the fire, its warmth a comforting presence against your palm, a small glowing ember nestled safely within, and walk towards the tree. Using a small, sharp stone knife, you make a careful incision in the bark. You watch patiently as the sticky, fragrant resin slowly oozes out, a golden tear from the tree, collecting it in the warm ember container, which prevents it from hardening too quickly in the biting cold. The warmth from the embers keeps the resin pliable, ready for use. Back at the cave entrance, you gently heat the resin further, holding it closer to the fire, warming it until it becomes soft and pliable, perfectly moldable. Then, with careful precision, you apply it to the spear shaft, coating the end where the stone point will sit. Next comes a length of sinew, animal tendon that has been dried, patiently pounded, and separated into strong, resilient fibers. When moistened with just a bit of saliva, these fibers transform into nature's strongest thread, astonishingly resilient and capable of forming an incredibly strong bond. You wrap the sinew tightly around the stone point and the spear shaft, creating a secure, unwavering bond that will harden further as it dries, locking the point firmly in place, making it an extension of the shaft itself. "Good point," Lev says, his thumb carefully testing the incredibly sharp edge, a quiet acknowledgement of skilled work. Very sharp. His quiet approval is a small, satisfying reward for the focused labor, a shared understanding of craftsmanship, while you've been absorbed in your work. The rhythm of your hands steady and precise. Kira has been preparing as well, though she will remain behind with the baby and Nima. Her role is crucial, a silent support system that allows the hunters to venture forth. She hands each hunter a small, carefully wrapped packet, secured in a scrap of leather. These contain emergency fire-starting materials, finely dried moss, a few precious splinters of resin-rich wood, and a piece of iron pyrite that can be struck against flint to create life-saving sparks. If caught away from the cave in the deadly cold, if the primary fire is lost, this small package might represent the fragile line between life and death, a tiny bundle of hope against the vast indifference of the winter. The sun is fully up now, its pale light casting long, silent shadows across the snow. The world has brightened considerably, yet the cold remains a pervasive force. Ren gestures to you and leave, his movement precise, economical. It's time to move out. You secure your spear, check your small stone knife at your waist, making sure it sits comfortably in its sheath, and adjust the fur wrappings that serve as your winter clothing. These are not tailored garments with buttons and zippers, no intricate patterns or soft, woven fabrics. They are simply animal pelts, carefully wrapped and tied around your body with sinew cord. They are heavy, somewhat restrictive, and carry the strong, comforting scent of smoke and animal oils, a powerful, earthy aroma, but they keep you alive, providing a vital barrier against temperatures that would claim an unprotected human in mere hours. A second skin of survival. Hunt well, Kira says simply, her voice low and steady, a quiet blessing. Bring meat, Nima adds, her elder's voice carrying the quiet, unwavering weight of necessity, a command born of need. It is not a suggestion, but a fundamental truth of their shared existence, a bond of mutual reliance. As you set off, following Ren down the snowy, silent path from the cave, you feel the familiar, quiet mix of excitement and the ever-present hum of fear that accompanies every hunt. The stakes are profoundly simple. Success means survival for another few days. Failure means watching hunger continue its slow, quiet work on the faces of your band, a prospect too grim to dwell upon for long. Ren leads the way, his eyes constantly scanning the landscape, his senses finely attuned to every subtle shift, every potential sign. He moves with a quiet grace, his steps deliberate and efficient. In the Stone Age, humans occupy a precarious place, somewhere in the middle of the food chain, a balance that must always be respected. Wolves, lean and watchful, hunt in these very woods, their presence a constant unseen possibility. Cave lions, massive and silent, still prowl the vast open steppes beyond. Their roar a distant legend, but their threat very real. And somewhere out there, the most terrifying predator of all, are other human bands perhaps as desperate as yours, who might view you as either competition for scarce resources or, in the grim silence of the worst scenarios, as resources yourselves. This underlying awareness adds a layer of constant vigilance to every step, every moment. After about an hour of quiet walking, the only sounds the crunch of your boots on snow and the faint whisper of the wind. Ren stops suddenly, dropping to a low crouch. You and Lev follow suit instantly, movement synchronized, instinctive, a practiced response born of shared necessity. No one speaks, the silent stretching filled only with the soft sounds of your breathing. Ren points to a patch of snow about 20 feet ahead, where the pristine white surface is subtly disturbed. Tracks. You edge forward carefully, your gaze following his, and examine the prints with a quiet intensity. They are unmistakable, the cloven hoof prints of reindeer, etched clearly into the frozen snow, and relatively fresh. This is your moment, as the herd surges past your position. Driven by primal fear, you launch your own spear. You've been waiting for this, tracking the lead animals, anticipating their path. Your arm, strong and practiced, unleashes the spear with a powerful forward thrust. It's a quick, almost instinctual movement, honed by repetition. The stone point, sharp and heavy, catches the light as it flies. You feel the powerful release of energy from your muscles, the subtle vibration of the spear shaft leaving your grip. The spear flies with a terrifying accuracy, finding its mark on the flank of another doe just behind the shoulder. The impact is solid, a dull thud that resonates through the air, and the animal stumbles, its momentum broken, slowing its frantic flight. The blood, dark and stark against the pristine snow, begins to spread, a grim testament to the success of your strike. This is the brutal, beautiful reality of the hunt. Then the sudden, sharp release of Lev's atlatl. The sound is a unique, resonant thwack, distinct from the quiet sounds of the wilderness, followed instantly by the whistling rush of his spear through the cold air. It's a sound that you've heard countless times in practice, but never with such profound consequence. The reindeer, startled by the unexpected noise, bolt instantly. They scatter, a sudden explosion of movement across the white landscape, their powerful legs churning through the snow. The bull, in a burst of raw instinct, leads the charge, kicking up a shower of powdery snow. Lev's spear, propelled with immense force, flies true. It strikes one of the lead does, a powerful deep impact that causes the animal to stumble. A high-pitched guttural cry tearing through the quiet. The minutes stretch into an eternity, each one punctuated by deliberate, measured movements. You are acutely aware of the distance closing between you and the herd, the fragile line between discovery and opportunity. You see Ren, a barely discernible shadow against the white, now almost opposite you. He shifts his weight, a subtle signal. The funnel is tightening. The reindeer, still grazing, suddenly lift their heads as one, their ears swiveling, their large dark eyes scanning the perimeter. Perhaps a faint scent of disturbed snow has reached them, or an almost imperceptible shift in the air. For a moment, they are frozen. Statues of wary alertness. Their collective gaze sweeps past you, past Ren, seemingly seeing nothing yet sensing something. The tension in the air is palpable, a taut string vibrating with unspoken anticipation. You can hear your own breath, shallow and controlled, a soft hiss in the intense quiet. The world narrows to this singular focus, the distant, unaware forms of the reindeer, the subtle crunch of your own boots, the silent, shared understanding with Ren as you both advance. The cold is a forgotten sensation now, replaced by the internal fire of the hunt. Ren begins his slow, arcing movement to the left, melting into the shadows cast by a cluster of snow-covered boulders. You begin your parallel movement to the right, using a line of stunted pines as cover, each branch laden with snow, offering a natural screen. The goal is to create a funnel, to gently guide the unsuspecting herd towards Lev's concealed position. You move with agonizing slowness, each step a carefully placed whisper in the snow. You notice the subtle shift in the wind, feeling it brush against your cheek, confirming that you are upwind, your human scent carried away from the animals. Every muscle in your body is tense, coiled, ready for instantaneous action, yet simultaneously striving for absolute stillness. Suddenly, Ren freezes. He raises a hand, a subtle signal, and points. There. Nestled amongst a sparse grove of snow-laden birches, their white bark almost indistinguishable from the background, are the reindeer. They are grazing, pulling at the frozen moss and lichen beneath the snow, their heads occasionally lifting, their breath pluming in the cold air. They appear calm, unsuspecting, a fleeting moment of vulnerability that your band rarely sees. You count them quickly, 6 animals, including a large bull with impressive antlers, and a smaller, younger calf, its coat a slightly darker shade against the white. This is a significant find, a chance at true abundance, a potential reprieve from the gnawing hunger. Your heart rate, which had settled into a steady rhythm, quickens almost imperceptibly, a surge of adrenaline warming you from within. Your eyes, trained by years of observation, constantly sweep the landscape, searching for any sign, any movement, any subtle indication of the herd. The reindeer, you know, are masters of camouflage in this white world, their pale coats blending almost perfectly with the snow and the bare, silvery trees, the stalk, the tension, and the sudden burst of action. The descent into the river valley is slow, deliberate. The snow here is deeper, drifted by the wind into soft, undulating mounds that demand careful footing. Each step is placed with precision, testing the snow's stability before committing your full weight. You feel the cold seeping through the fur of your boots, a persistent chill that reminds you of the environment's unforgiving nature. The air grows heavier, stiller, as you drop below the ridgeline, muffling even the soft crunch of your steps to a whisper. The scent of damp earth and frozen water hangs faintly in the air, a different fragrance from the dry, smoky air of the cave. If everything unfolds perfectly, and it rarely does in this world, where variables are countless and unpredictable, where a sudden gust of wind or an unexpected shift in the snow could spell disaster, you might bring down one, or perhaps even two animals. This is the quiet hope that propels you forward, a fragile dream of sustenance in a world of constant want. The air crackles with unspoken tension, a blend of strategy and raw instinct. As each of you moves into position, a silent, deadly ballet choreographed by hunger. Ren outlines the plan, using a combination of low whispers and precise hand gestures. A silent ballet of communication that requires absolute focus. You will follow the tracks to the river valley, carefully, slowly, ensuring you leave no scent trails that might betray your presence. If the herd is still there, grazing amongst the sparse winter vegetation or perhaps seeking shelter from the wind, you will split up to flank them. Lev, with his atlatl, will position himself downwind unseen, utilizing any natural cover, becoming one with the landscape. His role is crucial, as the atlatl allows for a more powerful and distant throw. You and Ren will approach from opposite sides, attempting to gently drive the animals toward Lev's position. A slow, deliberate funneling movement designed to minimize panic and maximize opportunity. The edges of the prints are still sharp, not yet softened by the wind or sun, indicating recent passage. From the depth and pattern, it's clear it's a small herd, perhaps 5 or 6 animals, moving steadily towards the river valley to the east. A known grazing ground even in winter. A quiet surge of hope moves through you, a subtle warmth against the cold, a spark of anticipation that momentarily banishes the pangs of hunger. Reindeer mean not just meat, but hide for clothing, bone for tools, sinew for bindings, everything your band desperately needs to endure the long, brutal winter. But reindeer are fast, wary, and will not be easy to bring down. Their senses are as sharp as your own, if not more so, their ears constantly twitching, their noses testing the wind for any foreign scent. After about an hour of quiet walking, the only sounds the crunch of your hide boots on the snow and the faint whisper of the wind through the bare branches. Ren stops suddenly, dropping to a low crouch. His stillness is absolute, a signal understood instantly. You and Lev follow suit, movements synchronized, instinctive, a practiced response born of shared necessity and countless hours spent together. No one speaks. The silence stretching, filled only with the soft sounds of your breathing, the beat of your own heart. Ren points to a patch of snow about 20 feet ahead, where the pristine white surface is subtly disturbed. Tracks. You edge forward carefully, your gaze following his, and examine the prints with a quiet intensity. They are unmistakable, the cloven hoof prints of reindeer, etched clearly into the frozen snow and relatively fresh. And somewhere out there, the most terrifying predator of all, are other human bands. Perhaps as desperate as yours, who might view you as either competition for scarce resources or, in the grim silence of the worst scenarios, as resources yourselves. A chilling thought that adds a layer of constant vigilance to every step, every moment. This underlying awareness shapes every decision, every movement, a quiet hum beneath the surface of consciousness. Ren leads the way, his eyes constantly scanning the landscape, his senses finely attuned to every subtle shift, every potential sign in the vast white expanse. He moves with a quiet grace, his steps deliberate and efficient, leaving minimal disturbance in the pristine snow. In the Stone Age, humans occupy a precarious place, somewhere in the middle of the food chain, a balance that must always be respected, always observed. Wolves, lean and watchful, hunt in these very woods, their presence a constant unseen possibility, a silent threat moving just beyond your sight. Cave lions, massive and silent, still prowl the vast open steppes beyond, their roar a distant legend from tales told by the fire, but their threat very real in the deep corners of your mind. But they keep you alive, providing a vital, heavy barrier against temperatures that would claim an unprotected human in mere hours. A second skin of survival in this unforgiving landscape. Hunt well, Kira says simply, her voice low and steady, a quiet blessing that echoes in the crisp air. Bring meat, Nima adds, her elder's voice carrying the quiet, unwavering weight of necessity, a command born of desperate need. It is not a suggestion, but a fundamental truth of their shared existence, a bond of mutual reliance that weaves through every breath. As you set off, following Ren down the snowy, silent path from the cave, you feel the familiar, quiet mix of anticipation and the ever-present hum of fear that accompanies every hunt. The stakes are profoundly simple. Stark in their clarity, success means survival for another few days. Failure means watching hunger continue its slow, quiet work on the faces of your band, a prospect too grim to dwell upon for long. The sun is fully up now, its pale winter light casting long, silent shadows across the snow. The world has brightened considerably, yet the cold remains a pervasive, undeniable force, clinging to everything. Ren gestures to you and Lev, his movement precise, economical, a signal understood without words. It's time to move out. You secure your spear, feeling its familiar balance, and check your small stone knife at your waist, making sure it sits comfortably in its sheath. You adjust the fur wrappings that serve as your winter clothing. These are not tailored garments with buttons and zippers. No intricate patterns or soft, woven fabrics. They are simply animal pelts, carefully wrapped and tied around your body with sinew cord. They are heavy, somewhat restrictive, and carry the strong, comforting scent of smoke and animal oils. A powerful, earthy aroma that grounds you to this existence. The transformation of the animals from living creatures into vital resources is now complete. A sacred cycle of life and death that ensures the survival of your own kind. A fundamental truth of this existence. Each heavy step carrying their substantial weight is a tangible manifestation of the band's continued survival. A direct and undeniable contribution to the very heartbeat of your community. A shared breath. The burden is immense, a profound physical weight that anchors you to the earth, connecting you to this harsh reality. But so is the triumph. A spiritual lightness that lifts your spirit, a quiet exhilaration that pushes you onward. With every labored breath, every straining muscle, every drop of sweat that freezes on your brow, you are directly contributing to the well-being of your family, the continuation of your lineage, the safeguarding of your people against the harsh, unforgiving realities of this ancient age, ensuring their future. You quicken your pace slightly, forcing your protesting muscles to obey, pushing past the growing exhaustion, spurred on by the urgent overriding need to reach the safety and warmth of the cave before night fully descends. Before the true, bone-chilling dangers of the winter night begin their silent prowl and claim their prey. The darkness begins to creep in, first as long, indistinct shadows that stretch and warp the familiar landscape, then as a growing, heavy gloom that gradually obscures the familiar landmarks, making the path less clear, forcing you to rely more on memory, instinct, and the faint, reassuring crunch of snow beneath your feet. The thought of potential dangers, of other predators drawn by the undeniable scent of fresh blood, lingers at the very edge of your awareness, a primal instinct that keeps your senses unnervingly alert, even in your exhausted state. Wolves, always on the hunt, their keen noses already picking up the scent from afar, would be drawn to this bounty, their lean, hungry forms perhaps already shadowing your path from unseen vantage points. their eyes glinting in the fading light. Even other desperate human bands, if they were to cross your arduous path, could pose an equally severe threat, their own hunger potentially turning to aggression, turning fellow humans into dangerous rivals for this vital resource, forcing a confrontation you desperately wish to avoid. As the sun dips lower, sinking below the distant snow-covered peaks, painting the sky with the last fading strokes of twilight, hues of deep orange, soft rose, and dusky purple bleeding gently into the pale blue, creating a breathtaking but fading spectacle. The cold deepens, becoming sharper, more biting, an insidious chill that penetrates relentlessly through layers of thick fur and animal hide, seeping into your very bones. The air bites with a renewed ferocity at any exposed skin, quickly numbing your nose, cheeks, and fingers, turning them a rosy red, threatening frostbite. The bundles of meat on your back feel colder, heavier, radiating a chill that seeps into your very bones, threatening to steal your core warmth, demanding constant, vigorous movement to keep the blood flowing. There is no easy path here, no pre-cut trail to follow, no clear signposts. Each heavy step carves a new one through the untouched snow, a momentary imprint on the vast white canvas of the winter wilderness, soon to be erased by the wind. Ren, ahead of you, unwavering in his resolve, sets a relentless but steady pace, his broad shoulders hunched against the immense burden, his movements a testament to countless years of this very struggle, a silent example of strength and unwavering resilience that you strive to emulate. You focus intently on his rhythmic steps, allowing them to guide your own. A silent meditation on perseverance, one foot after the other, an unyielding forward motion driven by sheer will and the desperate need to reach safety. You can feel the sweat beading on your forehead despite the frigid air, then quickly chilling against your skin, a dangerous mix of exertion and exposure that demands constant vigilance, a silent threat of hypothermia if you do not keep moving. A homemaker's guide from a slightly later, more settled era, perhaps one speaking of village life and rudimentary farming, might speak of the simple task of bringing in food, implying a mere trip to a communal storage or a bustling market, where goods are readily available. But they would never truly understand this fundamental, raw struggle against the merciless elements and the absolute limitations of the human body. This desperate dance with exhaustion, hunger, and ever-present danger that defines your daily life. The journey back to the cave is not merely a walk. It is a silent, grueling battle against pervasive fatigue and the rapidly encroaching bitter cold, a race against the setting sun. The river valley, once a place of hopeful pursuit and swift action, now feels like a deep, heavy trough, an inescapable basin that traps and holds you. And the climb out of its confines seems steeper, more relentlessly challenging, with every meter gained, an endless, spirit-testing ascent that stretches your resolve. Your muscles ache, a dull, pervasive throb that starts in your calves and radiates upwards through your thighs, your lower back, and into your shoulders. A profound protest from every fiber of your being, a testament to the immense work they are performing. Your hide boots sink deeper now with each weighted step, the substantial weight pressing them down, forcing you to lift your knees higher, to exert significantly more energy with each laborious stride, pushing your body to its absolute limits of physical capability. The profound silence that once enveloped the valley, broken only by the sounds of the hunt, is now filled with the heavy, ragged rhythm of your breathing, deep and guttural, the occasional grunt of exertion from Ren or Lev, and the muffled thud-thud-thud of your and Ren's burdened steps through the deep snow. A relentless, primal beat that echoes the very effort of survival. A symphony of struggle. You feel the immediate and profound strain on your spine, a sharp, insistent pull, and the deep burn in your leg muscles as you try to stand upright, your body protesting vehemently against the immense load you are forcing it to bear, muscles quivering with effort. Each step becomes a conscious, deliberate effort, a test of pure endurance against the overwhelming burden and the insidious onset of fatigue, a slow, deliberate march against your own waning strength, a battle of will. The pristine snow, which had seemed so beautiful earlier in the light of day, now becomes an adversarial force, an enemy. Its soft, yielding nature making every step a slow, laborious churn, like walking through deep, clinging sand, each stride demanding maximum effort and consuming precious energy. The meat, even divided into more portable portions, is incredibly heavy. A raw, substantial weight that presses down on your shoulders. A physical representation of the immense responsibilities you bear for your band's very survival. You and Ren each take on the largest portions, cumbersome and unwieldy, slung over your backs and secured with lengths of sturdy sinew, the cold, stiff hide pressing uncomfortably against your own fur coverings, its rough texture a constant, undeniable reminder of your immense burden. A weight that sinks deep. Lev, with his younger, yet still impressive strength, carries the remaining meat and the precious hides, bundled tightly to prevent contamination from the snow or dirt. Each bundle a promise of future warmth, nourishment, and essential tools, a vital store for the days ahead. The sun begins its slow descent towards the western horizon, painting the sky with muted hues of orange and purple. A fleeting beauty against the stark white of the snow. A vivid reminder that the day is waning, and the long, arduous journey home still lies ahead, a trek laden with the heavy fruits of your labor, the very sustenance of your band. The wind picks up slightly, carrying a colder, more insistent edge, urging you to quicken your pace, a silent whip driving you forward, a chilling whisper of the approaching night and its increased the arduous return burden. Perseverance, and the promise of home with the reindeer now expertly butchered into manageable sections, their majestic bodies transformed into invaluable bundles of life-sustaining resources. The truly arduous and physically demanding task of transport begins, a challenge almost as great as the hunt itself. The bones, rich with precious marrow, are carefully cleaned and gathered, destined for nourishing soup that will fill the belly and warm the spirit, for tools that will shape the future and make life easier, or even as fuel for the fire, providing precious warmth in the long, dark nights when wood is scarce. Every piece, Ren murmurs, his breath forming small clouds in the frigid air, a quiet reverence in his voice. A gift. It's a profound phrase you've heard countless times from the elders. A solemn reminder that every successful hunt is a blessing, a brief, fragile reprieve from the constant, gnawing threat of scarcity. A powerful testament to the intricate cycles of life and death that govern your very existence. The entire process stretches on, time losing its conventional meaning, marked only by the shifting light and the increasing ache in your muscles, a growing weariness that settles deep in your bones, a heavy cloak of fatigue that you must fight against. The biting cold air, while physically demanding, also acts as a natural preservative, slowing decay and allowing for more deliberate work. A natural cold storage system provided by the winter itself, a small mercy. You hear the dull thunk of the stone blade against bone, a resonant sound echoing in the stillness of the valley, the tearing sound of muscle separating, like tightly woven fibers reluctantly coming apart, the soft squish of fatty tissue, rich with stored energy, a vital fuel for the coming days. The meticulousness of this task is paramount. Absolutely no part of the animal is wasted. For in this world, waste is not just inefficient, it is death itself, a squandered opportunity for life. The hide, once carefully flayed from the carcass with practiced skill, is folded and wrapped, its future as warm clothing, essential shelter from the elements, or durable cordage already clear, a promise of warmth and utility that will sustain the band through the cold months. The primary butchering then commences, a truly laborious process even with the sharpest flint knives, demanding brute strength, unwavering focus, and precise technique, for a misplaced cut could spoil precious meat. The goal is to break down the large carcasses into manageable pieces that can be transported back to the distant cave, each piece a valuable commodity, a lifeline for your hungry band. You feel the deep strain in your shoulders and arms as you help Ren and Lev, working together in a silent, efficient rhythm, a synchronized dance of survival, each movement anticipating the next, a ballet of necessity. The muscles of the reindeer are incredibly dense, powerfully strong, a testament to their life in this harsh environment. Their ability to navigate the snowy landscape with such grace and speed. Others, like certain glands or bile, might be meticulously prepared and used for the complex process of tanning hides, making them pliable and soft for clothing and shelter, a crucial art in itself, or for various medicinal purposes. A primitive pharmacology known through generations of patient trial and error. A hard-won wisdom passed down through silent observation and shared experience. This is knowledge etched into the very memory of the band, a legacy of pragmatic ingenuity, vital for survival. This entire process is not a casual act. It is a profound connection to the animal, an intimate understanding of its physical being. Every muscle, every bone, every organ laid bare, a stark lesson in biology and the interconnectedness of life, the internal organs, especially the liver and heart, rich in vital nutrients, are carefully removed. Some, like the liver or kidneys, are set aside for immediate consumption. Perhaps even a raw, invigorating bite, still warm and iron-rich, to replenish lost energy and restore strength after the exertion of the hunt. Ren, with his seasoned hands, demonstrates the precise cuts, his movements fluid and purposeful, explaining in low, guttural tones, almost to himself, the complex anatomy of the reindeer, the strategic placement of organs, the exact path of the major arteries. A silent lesson in survival whispered to the winter air, passed from elder to apprentice, a timeless transfer of vital knowledge. You feel the cold seep relentlessly through your thin gloves as your hands move with purposeful intent, working quickly but carefully, your fingers growing numb but your purpose clear and unwavering, driven by necessity. The voluminous steam rises from the animal's open cavity, a stark, almost ethereal cloud against the frigid air, a visible breath of the animal's departed life, carrying with it the coppery scent of fresh blood and the earthy aroma of entrails, a potent, visceral smell of life and transformation of the raw essence of existence. The intricate work begins, a meticulous, time-honored process that is as much a part of the hunt as the chase itself, a sacred ritual of gratitude and practicality, a deep connection to the earth's bounty. First, the spears are carefully removed from the animal's flesh, their points then cleaned meticulously of blood with handfuls of fresh snow, the cold flakes rubbing away the dark, sticky stain, ensuring their readiness for future use, a silent promise of more hunts to come, more challenges to face in this unforgiving world. Then comes the critical task of field dressing, a process that demands both precise skill and a deep, inherent respect for the animal's anatomy. An intimate knowledge of its inner workings gained through relentless observation and years of practice. It is a harsh truth, perhaps, but an undeniable and necessary one, understood deeply in the core of your being, a primal knowledge passed down through countless generations, etched into the very fabric of your survival. Ren and Lev join you, their presence a quiet comfort, their silent agreement a shared understanding of the gravity of this moment, their shared experience of the hunt forging a bond stronger than any spoken words, a silent pact of mutual reliance and unwavering determination. They move to the other fallen reindeer, the one struck by Lev's atlatl with such impressive force and accuracy, assessing its condition with practiced eyes, their movements efficient and respectful, recognizing the immense value of each and every part. This magnificent animal, which just moments ago was a living, breathing creature, its heart beating strongly, its senses acutely alert, is now transformed, its body a source of life for your band, a vital shield against the creeping specter of hunger that tirelessly haunts your days, a tangible promise of warmth and sustenance for many meals to come. You approach the fallen animal, your steps heavy but deliberate, each one a conscious acknowledgement of the profound weight of the moment, a silent gratitude for the life that has been given. Its warmth, still clinging to its body, a comforting heat radiating gently against the biting cold air, creates a stark contrast to the frigid landscape around you, a fleeting warmth that reminds you of the vibrant life it once held just moments ago. You kneel beside it, feeling the coarse texture of its thick winter fur beneath your gloved hand, still warm from the life that has just left it, a surprising softness unexpected in such a harsh and unforgiving world. There is a moment of quiet reverence, an unspoken acknowledgement of the sacrifice made for your survival, a silent vow to honor the life given, to waste nothing, to utilize every precious part. The only sounds are the rapid thumping of your own heart against your ribs, slowly beginning to slow its frantic pace, a steady drumbeat of life regained, and the soft, rasping breaths of Ren and Lev as they emerge from their concealed positions. Their faces etched with the same blend of weariness from the physical exertion and quiet triumph that you feel. A shared burden, a shared victory, a bond strengthened by the hunt. The sharp scent of blood, a primal and ancient perfume of the hunt, raw and metallic, mixes intimately with the crisp, clean smell of pure snow and the earthy aroma of frozen earth, a potent, almost intoxicating blend that speaks of life given and survival gained. A testament to the inherent cycles of this brutal yet beautiful existence. The tension of the hunt, once a taut, vibrating string stretched to its absolute limit, now loosens, unraveling slowly like a tightly wound spool, replaced by a profound wave of exhaustion that settles deep in your bones, heavy and undeniable, and a deep, visceral sense of relief that washes over you, warm and welcome despite the biting cold. You watch as the second doe, struck by your expertly thrown spear, finally collapses into the snow, its movement ceasing, its last breath a small, misty cloud dissipating into the vast stillness of the winter air. The quiet of the valley rushes back in, starker now after the sudden burst of chaotic action and the thudding impacts. A profound silence that seems to hum with the lingering energy of what has just transpired, a sacred echo of life and death. This vivid vision, this powerful promise of shared sustenance and the ultimate safety of home, becomes an unyielding beacon in the deepening twilight, pulling you forward, step by arduous step, through the silent, indifferent expanse of the winter wilderness. The journey, with all its hardship, is a profound act of devotion, a physical manifestation of the primal bond that holds your band together against the vast, unrelenting forces of nature. Each breath, each slow, heavy step, brings you closer to the warmth of the hearth and the promise of another day, another chance to endure, another sunrise in this ancient, timeless world, a victory against the odds. The very thought, pure and powerful, fuels your flagging strength, igniting a small, monopersistent flame within you, a beacon of purpose in the growing darkness. You can almost feel the collective hunger of the band waiting patiently at the cave, their quiet anticipation turning into immense relief and joyful celebration at your eventual return, a reunion longed for. You picture the warmth of the roaring fire, its flickering light dancing on the cave walls, casting dancing shadows that seem to welcome you. The welcoming faces of Nima and Kira, their smiles a balm to your weary soul, washing away the cold and the fatigue, the eager eyes of the children, their faces bright with hope for a full belly, for sustenance after days of scarcity, their laughter echoing in your mind. You drift, not into emptiness or oblivion, but into a quiet space of deep, profound relaxation where the day's struggles dissolve into the soft rhythm of your own breath, merging with the breathing of your band. The exhaustion, now a friendly, welcoming companion, gently guides you deeper into the peaceful realm of sleep, a well-earned rest that replenishes your spirit and body, preparing you for the uncertainties and demands of the coming dawn. You are home, you are safe, you are warm, and in this ancient, timeless cave, the promise of another day, another sunrise, another chance to thrive. Slowly, gently unfurls itself in the quiet, protective darkness as your eyes grow heavy. Succumbing to the day's accumulated fatigue, you reflect on the totality of the day, the intensity of the chase, the cold precision of the kill, the grueling labor of processing the animals, and the arduous trek home, all culminating in this sacred moment of warmth, safety, and shared abundance, a hard-won victory. It is a harsh life, demanding constant vigilance, immense physical effort, and unwavering courage. But it is also a life of profound connection, a deep, visceral understanding of your place in the world, of your interdependence. The stars, countless and indifferent, twinkle like distant pinpricks of light beyond the cave mouth, a vast, cold expanse, but inside, within the protective, ancient embrace of stone and fire, you are safe, truly safe. Eventually the stories quiet, the laughter subsides into soft, contented sighs, and the contented murmurs fade into the soft, rhythmic breathing of your sleeping band members. The warmth of the fire, though diminished to embers, still radiates, holding back the pervasive, insidious chill of the winter night, a shield against the cold. You find a comfortable spot near the hearth, wrapping yourself more tightly in your thick fur coverings, burrowing into their warmth. The soft, rhythmic breathing of your band members around you becomes a gentle lullaby, a comforting, almost hypnotic sound that speaks of shared safety and collective dreams. A living blanket of human presence, the scent of wood smoke, roasted meat, and the subtle, comforting musk of human presence fills your nostrils, a deeply familiar and profoundly reassuring fragrance that signals home. The fire begins to die down to a steady, comforting glow, its intense flames replaced by pulsing embers, casting longer, softer shadows that dance lazily on the cave walls, creating an atmosphere of profound peace and unwavering security. This is the very heart of your existence, the relentless, demanding cycle of hunt and feast, the vital rhythm of communal life, the quiet, unyielding resilience against the immense, indifferent forces of nature. You observe Nima, already beginning the meticulous process of preparing some of the organs for long-term preservation, carefully slicing and drying thin strips by the fire's gentle warmth, ensuring they will be available for future consumption during leaner times, ensuring no part is wasted, a testament to their foresight. Kira supervises the children, their faces now relaxed and full, their bellies satisfied, as they carefully gnaw on smaller bones, extracting every last morsel of nutrient-rich marrow, a thick, fatty delicacy highly prized for its energy content. Anthropological studies suggest that marrow was a highly prized food source for prehistoric peoples, offering concentrated calories and essential fats crucial for survival in cold climates, making the meticulous extraction a vital practice. As the meal progresses, a profound sense of deep contentment settles over the entire band. A shared peace. The gnawing hunger that once plagued your insides is utterly gone, replaced by a warm, heavy satisfaction that radiates from your very core. The exhaustion, once a brutal, relentless enemy that pushed you to your limits, now transforms into a pleasant, drowsy sensation, a gentle tug towards the imminent, much-needed rest. The sounds of the outside world, the sharp, mournful whistling of the wind, the distant, eerie howls of unseen creatures, seem impossibly far away, muffled and rendered harmless by the thick, protective stone walls of your sanctuary, your impenetrable haven. The sharing of the meal is more than just a physical act of nourishment. It is a profound act of communal bonding, a sacred reaffirmation of the deep ties that bind your band together, making you a single, interconnected unit. Each bite of meat, each shared glance across the fire, reinforces the unspoken understanding that your very survival is a collective endeavor, a testament to shared risks and shared triumphs, a testament to unity. The fire crackles merrily, its warmth growing more profound and encompassing as night fully descends outside, creating a stark, impenetrable barrier against the frozen, unforgiving world. The dancing flames illuminate the cave with a soft, pulsing light, making the ancient rock walls seem to breathe with life, transforming them into canvases for the untold ancient stories of your ancestors. Their spirits watching. The deep, savory flavor, infused with the very essence of the bones and any gathered roots or herbs Nima might have added during its long simmer, spreads a profound, comforting warmth through your stomach, melting away the last vestiges of cold that clung to your interior, a warmth that radiates outwards. Ethnobotanical studies of early human diets indicate that bone broths were critical for nutrient absorption and hydration, especially during harsh winter months, often enriched with local plant matter for flavor and vital medicinal properties, making them indispensable for communal health. The children, their patience finally rewarded after long hours of waiting, gather excitedly around the feast, their small hands reaching eagerly for the pieces offered by their mothers, their faces smeared with the pure, unadulterated joy of immediate sustenance, a fundamental satisfaction. The sounds of chewing, of contented sighs and soft murmurs of appreciation fill the cave, a symphony of survival, a harmony of well-being. The bone broth, rich and fragrant with the deep aroma of animal fats and infused herbs, is carefully ladled into hollowed-out gourds and offered around the circle. You take a gourd, feeling its comforting warmth seep into your chilled hands, a pleasant sensation, and sip the steaming liquid. The feast and the night's embrace, sustenance and reflection. As the raw, invigorating taste of the liver settles, its iron-rich warmth spreading through your mouth and throat, a wave of revitalized energy begins to subtly spread through your core, pushing back the last lingering tendrils of deep exhaustion that clung to you like a shroud. The potent promise of the simmering broth and the abundant meat fuels a quiet hum of activity and contentment in the cave. Nima, with practiced ease honed over countless feasts, begins to slice generous portions of the fresh reindeer meat, the sharp flint knife making clean, efficient cuts through the still warm flesh, its texture yielding perfectly. The sight of the vibrant red meat, piled high on a clean hide spread upon the cave floor, is a powerful antidote to the gnawing, ever-present fear of scarcity that often accompanies your days. A visual reassurance that the lean times are, for now, banished. You allow your body to simply relax, to truly let go. The tension that has gripped you since the dawn of the hunt slowly releasing its hold, muscle by muscle, a gradual unwinding. The exhaustion is still profound, a deep, pervasive sensation, but it is now a comfortable weariness. The well-earned fatigue of a task completed, a challenge overcome, a victory secured. You watch the children, now bolder and more animated, approaching the freshly brought meat, their eyes wide with wonder and anticipation, a primal joy reflected in their small, eager faces. Their laughter, light and unburdened by the day's dangers, echoes softly against the cave walls, a sound as precious and life-affirming as the meat itself. Ren begins to section a piece of the liver, still warm and rich with life-giving nutrients, offering it to the band, a first taste of the bounty. The immediate consumption of such nutrient-dense organs is a vital practice, replenishing lost energy and essential minerals. A direct infusion of the hunt's success into your own being, a rapid restoration of strength. The taste is earthy, primal, and deeply satisfying, a true communion with the animal that has given its life. This moment, simple yet profound, encapsulates the essence of your existence, the relentless struggle, the unwavering collective effort, and the shared, immediate reward, all within the protective ancestral embrace of your home. The dancing shadows cast by the fire flicker on the walls, mimicking ancient figures performing a silent, eternal ritual of life, death, and renewal. The air inside the cave, though smoky with the scent of burning wood and cooked meat, is still and remarkably protective, a stark contrast to the relentless howling wind outside, a world away. You notice the familiar glint of carefully crafted flint tools arranged neatly on a stone ledge, catching the firelight. and the faint, almost indiscernible pattern of ancient handprints etched into the rock ceiling. Subtle, ghostly reminders of generations that have sought refuge and made a home here before you. The communal hearth, a shallow pit meticulously lined with carefully arranged stones, radiates a steady, consistent warmth, reaching into every corner of the dwelling, chasing away the chill. Archaeological records from similar prehistoric sites suggest that cave dwellers meticulously managed their fires, understanding the critical balance between warmth, light, and smoke ventilation, often relying on natural drafts and strategically placed openings to maximize efficiency and safety. The rich, savory aroma of the simmering bone broth, already cooking in a stone pot suspended precariously over the flames, fills the air, promising immediate, invigorating nourishment, a deep warmth for your insides. This is the tangible promise of home, the profound reward for your strenuous efforts, a communal sanctuary against the vast, indifferent, and dangerous wilderness. The quiet hum of conversation, low and murmuring, begins to fill the space, a gentle counterpoint to the hypnotic crackling of the fire, weaving a tapestry of shared existence, of collective memory. Ren, ever the pragmatic leader, inspects the bundles of hide, assessing their condition, already planning their future transformation into warmer cloaks, sturdy boots, or even sections of a temporary shelter if needed, his mind already calculating the resources. You, meanwhile, move towards the main fire, drawn by its magnetic warmth, its silent invitation. The glowing embers, a testament to Nima's diligent tending throughout the day, invite you closer, promising solace. You stretch your hands out, feeling the heat penetrate the remaining chill in your bones. A sensation of pure, unadulterated comfort that spreads through your entire being. Your fingers, stiff and numb from the prolonged exposure, slowly regain their dexterity, the blood beginning to flow freely once more, bringing a pleasant, almost buzzing, tingling sensation as warmth returns. Without a single spoken word, the unspoken tasks begin, a well-rehearsed symphony of communal labor, each person knowing their precise role, their movements fluid and practiced, honed over countless similar arrivals. The newly acquired meat and hides are carefully placed near the back of the cave, away from the immediate, intense heat of the fire, where the natural coolness of the stone will help preserve them for as long as possible. A natural pantry. Lev, with his youthful enthusiasm still vibrant despite the fatigue he must feel, immediately begins to clean the spears and atlatl, meticulously wiping away the last traces of blood with handfuls of fresh snow brought in from just outside the cave entrance, ensuring their readiness for the next call to action, for the next hunt. But they would never truly comprehend this fundamental raw struggle against the merciless elements and the absolute limitations of the human body. This desperate dance with exhaustion, hunger, and ever-present danger that defines your daily life. They wouldn't grasp the primal triumph, the sheer, unadulterated elation of raw survival earned through direct effort and risk. You feel the deep fatigue settling, a pervasive quondam, bone-deep ache that starts in your calves and radiates upwards through your thighs, your lower back, your shoulders. A profound protest from every fiber of your being. A testament to the immense work they have performed, screaming for respite. The biting cold that had clung stubbornly to your skin, seeping into your very core, begins to recede, replaced by the gentle, penetrating warmth of the fire, a comforting embrace that begins to thaw your chilled extremities, coaxing them back to life. The moment of arrival is not merely physical. It is a profound spiritual transition, a shedding of the outer shell of the hunt. You shed the layers of frost and the external world's harshness, its indifference, entering a sacred domain where the very air hums with the collective history of your countless ancestors, their spirits lingering within the stone. The dampness from the melting snow on your thick fur coverings creates small puddles on the cave floor near the entrance, quickly absorbed by the dry, porous earth beneath, leaving almost no trace. A homemaker's guide from a slightly later, more settled era. Perhaps one speaking of village life and rudimentary farming where food is cultivated from the earth might speak of the simple task of bringing in food, perhaps from a well-stocked larder or a bustling market, implying a mere trip without significant peril or physical strain, a mundane chore. This vision, this powerful promise of shared sustenance and the ultimate safety of home, becomes a profound beacon in the deepening twilight, a guiding light that pulled you relentlessly forward, step by arduous step, through the silent, indifferent, and utterly unforgiving expanse of the winter wilderness. The journey, with all its inherent hardship and raw physical demand, is not just a necessity. It is a profound act of devotion, a physical manifestation of the primal bond that holds your band together against the vast, unrelenting forces of nature. Each breath, each slow, heavy step taken, has brought you closer to the warmth of the communal hearth and the undeniable promise of another day, another precious chance to endure, another sunrise in this ancient, timeless world, a hard-won victory against the overwhelming odds. Kira, with her eyes wide and soft, brimming with understanding, approaches you, a profound, wordless connection passing between you, a recognition of the arduous journey and the precious bounty you've brought back to the band, the very substance of their survival. The eager eyes of the children, their small faces bright with the pure, uncomplicated hope for a full belly, for immediate sustenance after days of scarcity and hunger, peek cautiously from behind the adults, their small forms huddled close to the fire's radiant embrace, drawing warmth from its heart. Their collective hunger, once a quiet, almost constant pressure in the back of your mind, a low thrum of anxiety, now transforms into a palpable wave of joyous anticipation. A delightful clamor of small sounds and eager movements that signals the absolute end of the day's brutal struggle and the blissful beginning of shared abundance, of communal feasting. You step further into the cavern's depths, your eyes slowly adjusting to the intricate interplay of firelight and shadow, a dance of ancient warmth against eternal stone that defines your world. The familiar, welcoming faces of Nima and Kira, lit by the mesmerizing, flickering flames, emerge from the deeper recesses of the cave, their expressions shifting from quiet, anxious anticipation to immense, visible relief, and then to bright, genuine smiles that are a soothing balm to your weary soul, a profound comfort after the day's trials. Nima, her hands already reaching out in a gesture of care, moves instinctively towards Ren, her touch a silent acknowledgement of his strength and success, a wordless appreciation of his role as provider. You feel the immediate surge of palpable warmth emanating from deeper within the cave's vast interior, a pulsating beacon that instinctively guides your tired body forward, pulling you into its comforting embrace. It is the communal fire, always diligently tended by those who remain at home, its mesmerizing, flickering, golden light dancing a silent, ancient ballet on the rough, uneven rock walls, casting long, shifting shadows that seem to stretch out like welcoming arms, inviting you home, beckoning you into its core. The air within this sacred space is markedly different from the biting, relentless wind outside. It is perfectly still, heavy with the earthy scent of wood smoke, the subtle fragrance of dried herbs, and the distinct, deeply comforting aroma of human presence, a scent woven from countless generations of shared warmth, shared breath, and countless stories told in its flickering light. A wave of profound relief, deeper and more expansive than any you felt all day. A true, complete surrender to the moment washes over you, a gentle, warming current through your utterly exhausted being, dissolving the sharp, biting edges of the bitter cold and the persistent, gnawing ache in your shoulders that has been a constant companion since the morning's hunt. The heavy bundles of raw meat and stiff hide, which had become burdensome extensions of your very being, crushing weights tethering you relentlessly to the unyielding earth, are finally unslung with a sigh of deep satisfaction, dropping with a muffled, satisfying thud onto the cold rock floor. the sudden release sending a jarring but incredibly welcome lightness through your spine. A momentary sensation of pure weightlessness, the final ascent. A long, drawn-out exhalation of supreme effort. An act of sheer will pushing your protesting body forward brings you at last to the immense, welcoming mouth of the cave. It yawns like a dark, ancient maw against the encroaching night, a jagged silhouette carved by millennia of time and elemental forces into the very heart of the cliff face, appearing to swallow the last vestiges of twilight, offering not just shelter, but a profound, almost spiritual promise of sanctuary. A deep, primal comfort that resonates within your very soul. Your weary legs, which have been protesting with every strained muscle and aching joint for what feels like an eternity. For countless, grueling steps across the frozen expanse. Finally find purchase on the familiar Turnstorm, rough frozen ground of the cave's antechamber. A solid, unyielding surface beneath your worn-hide boots. Outside the cave mouth, the light has intensified, painting the snow-covered landscape with a dazzling, almost blinding brilliance, transforming the vast wilderness. The air is still frigid, but the clear, crisp light promises a day of renewed possibilities. A day for gathering, for crafting, for continued survival against the odds. As the meal concludes, a sense of quiet purpose begins to solidify within the band. Each person silently acknowledges their role, their specific contribution to the collective and to the larger whole, as the deep, restorative sleep of the long winter night slowly begins to recede, not with a jarring jolt but with a gentle, almost imperceptible sigh. You find yourself subtly pulled back to the edges of conscious awareness, a gradual re-entry into the tangible world. This awakening is not triggered by an abrupt alarm, but rather by the delicate, ever-so-gradual shifts in the ancient, still air of the cave. The profound, enveloping darkness that had cradled your slumber now begins its slow surrender, reluctantly lightening not with the harsh intrusion of direct, piercing sunlight, but with a soft, diffused luminescence that filters painstakingly through the distant, jagged mouth of the cavern, painting the deepest, farthest recesses with a faint, ethereal gray. A subtle promise of the coming dawn. You hear the soft, almost imperceptible rustle of fur as another member of the band stirs nearby. A gentle shifting that signals the gradual awakening of the communal body, a ripple of consciousness spreading through the slumbering forms. Perhaps it is Lev, his youthful energy already stirring impatiently beneath his covers, eager for the day's pursuits. Or Nima, ever watchful, her internal clock intimately attuned to the subtle, timeless rhythms of the rising sun, even before its first tentative rays touch the world outside the protective stone. The profound silence of the cave, once absolute and all-encompassing, is now gently punctuated by these quiet, organic sounds, a soft, contented sigh, the quiet shuffle of a body adjusting its position, the faint, almost unheard crackle of an ember settling, sounds that weave together into a quiet, harmonious symphony of awakening life, a gentle, melodic prelude to the day's activities. You feel the cool, crisp air, still thoroughly imbued with the lingering, persistent chill of the night, gently caress your exposed skin, a delicate, almost tender reminder of the vast, unforgiving world that lies just beyond your immediate, comforting warmth. Yet beneath your thick, insulating fur coverings, a deep, pervasive warmth persists, a comforting, radiant heat emanating steadily from the dying embers of the communal fire, which still glow with a faint, reddish pulse, a living, beating heart in the very center of your sanctuary. The air within this ancient space is heavy with the familiar Meticulously, earthy scent of wood smoke, intimately mingled now with the subtle, sweeter aroma of dried herbs that Nima often burns. A fragrance that has become synonymous with safety, with solace, and with the profound comfort of home itself. You slowly, languidly stretch your limbs beneath the heavy, comforting weight of your furs, feeling the gentle, satisfying pull of muscles that were worked so intensely during yesterday's strenuous hunt. A pleasant ache that speaks not of pain, but of exertion, of purpose, and of well-earned deep rest. Each joint, each tendon seems to awaken with a soft, internal sigh, gradually regaining its fluidity and readiness after the long hours of stillness and repose. The rough, yet infinitely comforting texture of the meticulously tanned reindeer hide, which forms your innermost, most vital layer of clothing, presses intimately against your skin, a familiar second skin embrace. Over this, the shaggy, insulating weight of woolly mammoth fur cloaks you, providing an almost impenetrable barrier against the biting cold. Its long, coarse hairs a tangible testament to the immense might of the ancient beast from which it came, a legacy of power. Early hominids meticulously processed animal hides, often using natural tanning agents like brain matter or smoke, transforming raw pelts into flexible, durable materials essential for warmth and protection against the harsh Ice Age climate. Such garments were complex creations, reflecting ingenuity and a deep understanding of natural resources, crafted with skill and purpose. You gradually push aside the heavy coverings, revealing the cool, invigorating air of the cave, a refreshing contrast to your warm, safe cocoon, a gentle shock to your senses. Your eyes, now fully open and clear, begin to slowly scan the familiar interior of your home, observing the subtle, intricate details that make up your world, each object imbued with meaning. The cave walls, etched by the tireless work of water and the relentless march of time, seem to hold countless untold stories within their uneven surfaces, their rough, ancient textures softened by the dim, ambient light, creating a living canvas. Various essential tools hang suspended from natural protrusions in the rock. A flint axe, its blade gleaming dully even in the low light, its edge still remarkably razor-sharp from recent sharpening. A sturdy bone needle, meticulously carved with infinite patience, its eye impossibly small and delicate, reflecting the countless hours of careful craftsmanship required to create such a vital implement, and bundles of sinew, carefully dried and twisted, awaiting their next crucial purpose as thread for mending or binding for construction. The communal fire, though now reduced to a bed of glowing, pulsating embers, still exhales a deep, pervasive warmth, a comforting breath that reaches into the deeper, cooler recesses of the cave, gently coaxing the remaining sleepers into a gradual wakefulness. A faint wisp of smoke drifts lazily, almost gracefully, towards the natural opening high above, where the cavern's inherent architecture acts as an ingenious millennia-old chimney, effortlessly drawing the smoke upwards and out into the vast sky, maintaining a breathable, safe atmosphere within the dwelling. You slowly sit upright, your back finding a surprising comfort against the cool, smooth stone of the cave wall, a solid, grounding sensation that anchors you to this ancient place. Your gaze naturally settles upon Nima, who has already risen, her silhouette visible against the faint reddish glow of the embers. A figure of quiet purpose, with practiced grace and an innate understanding of the fire's needs. She carefully adds a few small, dry pieces of kindling to the glowing heart of the fire, coaxing it back to life. The dry wood catches quickly, emitting a soft, gentle hiss. Then a tiny flame blossoms, dancing playfully, growing rapidly as it consumes the fuel, casting new, vibrant shadows that leap and writhe across the cave walls, chasing away the lingering gloom and ushering in the new day. The immediate surge of palpable heat is invigorating, a comforting wave that radiates outwards, chasing away the last stubborn vestiges of the night's chill, filling the space with warmth. The crackling sound of the reawakening fire is a gentle song, a familiar ancient melody that signifies the true beginning of the day. A daily ritual older than memory itself, a sacred act of nurturing warmth and sustaining life within the ancient stone. As the fire gains strength, its growing light illuminates the faces of the children, who now begin to stir, their small forms uncurling slowly from their cozy nests of fur, like small, hibernating creatures emerging. Their sleep-softened expressions slowly sharpen into alertness, their eyes blinking against the growing light, filled with a primal curiosity, and an unburdened excitement for the new day's promises. Kira, ever patient and watchful, begins to organize the remaining food from last night's successful feast, carefully wrapping sections of meat in clean hides, preparing them for storage in the cooler. Deeper, more stable parts of the cave, ensuring their longevity and preventing spoilage. The air now carries the fresh, invigorating scent of melting snow, brought in by those venturing outside for water, mingling harmoniously with the ever-present wood smoke and the rich, earthy aroma of the cave itself, a unique blend of primal scents. The sounds of the awakening band grow louder, though still muted and gentle, soft murmurs of conversation. The rustle of hides as bodies shift, the gentle clink of stone tools being moved. This daily rhythm, this gentle, organic waking, is a profound contrast to the sudden chaotic intensity of the hunt. It is a testament to the sustained quiet effort required to simply be, to simply live in this ancient, demanding world, a continuous act of endurance. Each action, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is imbued with purpose. Each movement a conscious, deliberate contribution to the survival and well-being of the collective. A thread in the tapestry of communal life. The very act of living is a constant, unfolding meditation, a delicate, intricate dance between struggle and serene endurance, between necessity and the profound peace of belonging. The first real, tangible task of the day, immediately following the shared, profound warmth of the reawakened fire, is the meticulous preparation of the morning meal, a simple yet utterly vital ritual that replenishes the body after sleep and prepares the spirit for the challenges that lie ahead. The leftover bone broth from last night's bountiful feast, now solidified into a thick, nutrient-rich jelly by the cave's natural, consistent cold, is carefully placed back over the rekindled, growing flames, slowly melting, releasing its deep, savory steam into the crisp morning air, a visible breath of warmth. The rich aroma, a deep, earthy, comforting scent, fills your nostrils, a powerful, satisfying prelude to the sustenance it promises. Nima, with her deep inherited wisdom of the land and its diverse offerings, might add a handful of dried berries, carefully preserved from the last autumn's harvest, their sweet, tart fragrance mingling subtly and delightfully with the savory broth. Or perhaps a few small pieces of the dried root vegetables she meticulously gathered and stored during warmer seasons, adding a crucial layer of complexity and vital carbohydrates to the nourishing liquid. Paleolithic diets varied greatly by region and season, but archaeological evidence suggests the significant consumption of wild plants, roots, and berries, which were often dried or stored in cool, dark environments for winter sustenance, complementing the essential meat supply with crucial vitamins and minerals. You observe Lev, already demonstrating his tireless energy and focused dedication, as he meticulously sharpens a flint blade, preparing it with precision for the day's upcoming chores. The rhythmic scrape of stone against stone, a persistent, familiar, almost meditative sound, fills a small portion of the air, a testament to focused craftsmanship. The flint, a hard, brittle rock, flakes away in razor-sharp shards with each expertly applied strike, revealing a new, pristine edge, honed to absolute perfection, glinting subtly in the firelight. This blade is not just a mere tool, it is an intrinsic extension of the hand, a vital instrument for survival, capable of skinning an animal efficiently, preparing food precisely, or even crafting other essential tools with remarkable ease. Ren, ever pragmatic and resourceful, is simultaneously engaged in mending a tear in one of the communal hide coverings, his large, calloused fingers deftly pushing a sturdy bone needle, meticulously threaded with strong, resilient sinew, through the tough, yet pliable, tanned animal skin. The sinew, incredibly strong and elastic, drawn from the very reindeer you hunted yesterday, forms a tight, almost invisible stitch, a testament to the profound ingenuity of your people, transforming raw animal parts into durable, essential items that ensure warmth and protection. This communal repair work, This constant, careful tending to the objects that literally sustain your lives is a silent act of care, a continuous, unwavering effort to maintain the delicate, precarious balance of your existence against the relentless wear and tear of daily life and the pervasive, unforgiving elements. As the broth warms, small strips of dried meat from previous hunts, carefully preserved and hanging from natural hooks in the cave ceiling, are added, rehydrating slowly in the simmering liquid, becoming tender and palatable once more, releasing their rich flavor. The sound of the broth bubbling softly, a gentle rhythmic plop, 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 becomes a calming counterpoint to the quiet activity in the cave, a soothing backdrop to the morning's preparations. The warmth from the fire, now fully established and radiating powerfully, permeates the entire living space, chasing away the last vestiges of cold, creating a truly comfortable, almost cozy environment for the band. You feel the slow, steady return of strength to your limbs, the physical exhaustion of yesterday's arduous journey now completely replaced by a quiet readiness, a serene acceptance for the day ahead and its demands. The delicate stitching, the precise arrangement of different fur sections for optimal warmth and durability, speaks volumes of the immense dedication and artistic skill required for even the most basic elements of survival in this era. Prehistoric clothing, far from being crude and unsophisticated, was often a complex assemblage of meticulously tanned hides and furs, tailored to perfection for insulation and mobility, reflecting advanced craft skills and an intimate knowledge of animal properties, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of their environment. The children, their eyes bright with the anticipation of food, gather closer to the fire, their small forms absorbing its radiant heat, their faces glowing. Their chatter, hushed and excited, fills the air with a delicate, innocent sound, a fragile counterpoint to the more serious tasks of the adults. You notice the intricate patterns woven into your own fur tunic, crafted by Nima's skilled hands, using countless hours of painstaking work and dedication. The sharing of the morning meal is a quiet, profound moment, a testament to your collective success and enduring resilience, a silent communion. Each sip of the warm, nourishing broth, each bite of the tender meat, is not just a physical act, it is a celebration of life itself, a direct result of the dangers faced, the efforts expended, and the shared triumph. The taste is earthy, satisfying, and deeply comforting, a primal connection to the land and the animals that tirelessly sustain you. Conversation is minimal, punctuated by contented sighs and the soft sounds of eating, a quiet symphony of consumption. The primary focus is on absorbing the vital energy, preparing your body and spirit for whatever the new day might bring for its unique challenges and opportunities. Some will venture out to check traps, their movements swift and silent, others to gather scarce firewood from the frozen landscape, or perhaps to search for hidden medicinal plants beneath the snow. You feel a quiet sense of readiness, a calm acceptance of the challenges ahead, whatever they may be. The cave, which served as your sanctuary through the long, dark night, now transforms into a base of operations, a central hub from which the day's activities will radiate, a constant anchor in a shifting world. The memory of the previous night's profound rest, coupled with the deep nourishment of the morning meal, fills you with a quiet, unwavering confidence. The knowledge that you are part of something larger, a resilient, interconnected family thriving against the odds, provides a deep, unwavering strength that comes from belonging as you prepare to face the new day, gathering your tools, pulling your furs tighter around you. You carry with you the profound understanding that life in this ancient world is a continuous, beautiful dance between the harshness of nature and the enduring warmth of human connection. Each sunrise is a fresh beginning, a renewed opportunity to demonstrate resilience, to adapt, to survive, and to truly live. And in that simple, profound truth, you find peace. You are ready. You are purposeful. You are alive. And the ancient world, with all its demands and its breathtaking beauty, quietly awaits.